Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Creatively Exposed, and it is 2023, y'all. 3 years of a pandemic. But you know what matters? That we are still here. If you still feel like you are recovering from 2022, I know I feel like I am, because homegirl Molly walked and dog walked my ass. Then know that the actual non-Gregorian calendar, the astrological calendar, says the new year begins during Aries season, which is about March 20th. And so, as these retrogrades start going direct, we were in Mars retrograde that went direct, I believe, this weekend, the 12th or something like that. And Mercury's going retrograde around the 18th, but don't sleep on these long ass shadows. The shadows be hitting harder than the actual retrograde. So allow about 2 weeks after Mercury for sure. I'm not really sure how long the shadow is for Mars. However, I would, at least do the 2 weeks, just like Mercury. But they all move at their own pace, so it's a little different. So, we're still in retrograde season. And if you do not feel like you can go after everything that you had planned to do and become a whole new all that bullshit, because you're still recovering from some of the hard shit that went through last year, or just in general. Maybe you did the most, maybe you crushed every single goal and you need all of the naps. That is absolutely okay. Use this time to rest, recover, review things, strategize, prepare and make space for all that there is to come. And so, if all you did all this time, the first few days of January, is exist, man, that is enough. That is so enough. A lot of people don't make it. And as morbid and hard as that sounds, it's true. So every day that you are here is an opportunity, I would say, to love yourself, love life a little bit more, love your loved ones, pets, everybody, right? So I got a few updates, and I'm easing into 2023, but I'm also really excited about going after one dream at a time. I've had a lot of things in the back burner that I want to pick up and slowly finish and be intentional with my art. I want to collect as much acceptances as rejections. I don't even like the word rejection, so for anyone who isn't a writer, I don't know how y'all's art medium works, but as a poet especially, so we submit our work to different literary magazines, and baby, the way that I'm collecting these, not really for us kind of thing, left or right. But it's part of the process. And I don't like to call those rejections. I think they're just misalignments. Like, it just wasn't the piece or the moment. And that's okay. Either rework it, right? And this is me talking to me. Rework it, review it, or take it elsewhere where it really fits. And if no one else will publish it, I will self-publish it. Like, if I feel like it's either for a collection instead or something like that, I'm gonna put that baby in a book and I will self-pub and see where that goes. So there's always a way. And that's that with that. So, but I last year I didn't really submit a lot of things, and so this year I wanna write. I wanna feel like a writer. I don't think I did last year, and it made me pretty sad. So we're not doing that no more. And that's that. I have some courses that I'm teaching. I'm gonna mention all the free ones. January 27th, it starts with world building through emoting, so using feelings to create a written world. And that's an hour and a half. So if you want to drop in on the 27th, I'll put all of this in the show notes so you could check it out. And the second one that I have is Healing Through Generational Trauma en Español. So that's in Spanish. And the other one is a multi-week Taking Up Space Bilingually. So, mi gente, anyone who has been figuring out or wanting to just like start writing and feeling more comfortable with their multi-layered polyglot self, holla at your girl. These are free classes, and so spend some time with me, and I want to build this coursework out and really do this thing. So can't do that if people don't sign up, and so that's why I'm telling y'all. Tell a friend, share with a friend, whatever you want to do. I'm also doing a pop-up at the Lincoln Beard Brewery. I believe that is the name. This coming Saturday, the 21st. And so if you are in South Florida, check me out. That is for Astrolizix, the crystal and spiritual wellness business that I have. And I'm also excited to discuss my zine. So a zine is usually pretty short. It's shorter than a chapbook, which can be about like 30 pages and up. So I would say it's anything under 30 pages. Usually a zine looks like a magazine. Only thing, magazines are longer format. And that is 0.5 of Soliloquy of an Ice Queen. And I did create the virtual version under COVID delirium, so it might look like that, but I've done some really cool stuff with it, so it's gonna stay how it is. And I'll be dropping the pre-order and cover reveal on my Bookstagram, which is at S as in Sam or Soliloquy, I as in Ice, Q as in Queen Book, SIQ Book. And so that's gonna drop on the 20th. I'm really excited about this, and there was a Twitter poll that said to print out 50 copies. So that to me, it's terrifying as an indie publisher myself. However, I'm gonna test it out and see what happens. So pre-orders, I'll be signing the book, and seeing what else can be put together by then. I don't know, if maybe a bookmark, something. And I'll definitely be signing the zine, and that is limited print. Unless people are knocking down my website and my DMs and all that for more copies, it will probably be the cap at 50. And that's it, because I can't publish it wide like a regular book because it's too short. 𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐭𝐫. So definitely doing more pop-ups this year with my spiritual wellness brand, so stay tuned with that if you are local. And I got some really cool projects that I'm just so excited about, and I'm going to go off of the continual vision that keeps playing in my mind, because we don't receive these things just to see them. At least that's how I view it. I'm not given a vision if I couldn't execute it. So I don't know the how, but I want to create these things so bad. And so I'm gonna figure out a way. The zine aligned itself, to be really honest. I've had those poems, which are really short poems for the most part, for years. And this year I was like, why are we sitting on this? So that's where I'm at. One dream at a time. Just one dream at a time. Probably to be, keep it all the way 1,000, 2 to 3, because I like to do many things at once, and I'm in a very interesting predicament where I can make the time. I just gotta be more structured around my time. But when I tell you that I am also being soft and compassionate and viciously serious around those feelings, I'm doing my best to not pile up a whole bunch of stuff onto my plate, because I don't have the bandwidth. COVID and holistically, there's just been a lot going on, and COVID be beating ass. Like, this is not, it's not a game. The body is still recovering, and I also need to be mindful of that. Like that pop-up, I did a pop-up this past weekend, and it's cold outside. I am in South Florida, and why is it in the 50s? That's insane here. I know there's some people that are probably like, I'm up north or in the Midwest and y'all got snow. I am sorry. However, if you have ever come here or know of people who have vacationed here, they don't come here for 49 degrees. So we was struggling. It was cold. I am sore. And so I'm like, we can't be overdoing this. And I think it's really interesting to me. I think I take things as a self-study most of the time, because I like to spiritually process things, analyze, feel, intuitively move through things. And catching COVID while grieving is, you have no choice but to sit and feel twice, right? Because it's not just like grief, but it's also like you're unwell. And I don't know if I would have processed as much as I processed had I not gotten sick. And I'm not saying, oh, this was a blessing. Hell no. I'm still struggling with this shit now. And I'm negative, but from like the 18th to the 31st, I was positive with COVID, so I couldn't even like do holiday stuff with my family, which just added a whole nother layer. That is just, it's a lot of emotion to discuss. I was able to really sit with some things that I don't think I would have allowed myself to. And so I invite you to not discard the moments of stillness and being present. I really, if you have ever listened to any of the episodes, I definitely struggle with being still, even though this is my current lesson. And sorry. Sometimes stillness feels like stagnancy. But what we don't realize is the stillness allows enough space for the movement of our creativity. Living can be a very traumatic and hard experience. Survival, I feel, robs us of dreams, desires, hope, faith, etc. Our magic. And so being able to be still, or finding the gems of gold in stillness, it feels lazy, it feels all these weird, guilty things, but it's part of resistance. And what's cool is, let me find her information. The Nat Ministry creator released a book. I'm going to look in the library. And it's a manifesto. Rest is Resistance by Tricia Hersey. And I haven't finished it, but rest is revolutionary. And I think I didn't even do it on purpose, but like, it's Martin Luther King Day. I mean, it's late right now, so it is officially January 16. And I just ask, especially of my creatives, if nothing is coming, if you don't feel creative, if you've needed a break from your art, if your art has needed a break from you, it's okay. Sometimes it takes more years, right? Sometimes it takes months, days, what have you. But in my days of quarantining and needing to be enclosed in my room over a long 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks, creativity came. Even in like the delirium, I was like, hey, I've had this sitting. Let's revisit this. Let's revisit these things. I've had great conversations with friends. Allow yourself to be supported by your friend groups. Curate the people in your life well and pour into them. Because when you need it, they will pour into you in ways that you never thought would light up something within you. So I've always had beef with forms. I think form has been made to be inaccessible. It is othering. And some of that shit is just complicated as fuck. Like a Sistina, a Villanelle. I like Villanelles. A what them things called? A sonnet? Boy, form are tools to use to structure poems. Yeah, poems. And I'm sure there's other ways of explaining all of this, but they have their own rules, structures, and it's like a confusing ass template to put your art into, or to use it to create art, right? Written art in this case. I've always had beef with them because I'm like, it's been hella dead white people, white men mostly, who have created these forms. And so it's been interesting to learn the rules so you can break them, which is my favorite thing. This is where I find enjoyment. And so creating a sonnet, creating Sistina. Baby, when I tell you, I have never struggled so hard to write something. I've struggled to like write a poem that I've wanted to write, but like it's like chemistry. It feels like I was adding equations to the chemical elements in chemistry. That's what it felt like. However, once I was like H2O equals water, the flow. Okay, you see what I did there? The flow. And so I definitely want to teach maybe a perception shift around form. We'll see what comes of that. But all that to say, to be challenged to work with what you usually do and say, what if you learn the rules of this thing? Challenge something that you don't like and change your perspective on it. Let's see what it does with your work. I have never worked so hard on poems, and maybe that's not being a great poet. I don't know what, other people's standards are, but being self-taught and playing with this like academic template has been very generative for me. So allow yourself to be challenged. And sometimes when you go the other way, you've been going down the same road and you don't go off completely, but you just take a little slight shift. It might lead you somewhere. That shift might be rest. It might be opening up your mind a little bit further. It might be learning rules to break them. And so let the stillness tell you what's next. I think there is magic to be found in that resistance. Because what is the biggest time waster? It is living a life according to being disconnected from self, not being in the world and saying, hey, I am a part of this, not having space to dream, not having space to aspire, and to have the audacity and energy to go after it. So that, I think, is where I will leave you. Keep an eye out for my pre-order links. And if you, as a creative or just a human being that is out here living the day-to-day to your best ability, have anything that you want that you're putting out, right? Like if you are out here hitting the ground running, or in March want to debut some stuff, let us create a symbiotic relationship. Sharing stuff on the stories is free. Retweeting is free for now, right? Send them my way. Email if you're in the newsletter. DM if you're on Creatively Exposed without the E on Instagram. Twitter, Creatively Expod without the E. Send me what you're working on, what you're putting out into the world, what write-ins y'all got, whatever it is, whatever art medium you're doing, music, visual, what have you, send it my way. I ain't got no problem sharing stuff on the stories, creating a post, none of that. So shout outs, let's see what shout outs I got. Shout outs to the poetry group chat that keeps me going. Literally, it's cool to have a group of people that celebrate what you create. Find your people, find your community. And shout out to my cousin who is formatting the zine so it can be perfect and I can sign these books and it can look good and I can be proud of it, and it is not done during delirium of COVID. It is being done properly. But don't sleep on the virtual version, because there's some great content that I have added to that. That's it. That's all my shout outs. Oh no, between Magic and Dreams, he's always hustling, always out there selling comics. The comics are dope. I got some special editions because I stan. So if you have not heard of Between Magic and Dreams, there's book 1, book 2, and there's comic books that Brian D. Covington is creating. I've also had him on the podcast. I might invite him again. Got some cool things going on. And just like for fun, random things that I did watch. Gudetama? I don't know if I pronounced that well, but it's basically an egg and a baby chick go on an adventure. I like little cutesy animes. But I did watch Alice in Borderland. Wow. I didn't watch Squid Games, but I hear that they're similar in essence. So that's that. If anyone is into K-dramas, like for real, like on Viki TV, Reborn Rich. Basically, the premise is, what would you do if you could get your revenge from the inside? And that is all I'm gonna give you, okay? Even if you don't want to pay for Viki TV, but you like K-dramas, watch it with the commercials. It's good. And that's that. I'm looking forward to 𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐭𝐫 starting up again and trying not to finish the The Way of the House Husband season 2, because it's only 5 episodes. So if anyone's into anime, like cutesy or deadpan comedy, I'm learning is something that I really like. Holla at your girl. Send me some recommendations. I'm looking for new anime to watch. And that's it. I hope that you have a restful Monday. For those who, the company really does believe that there was a dream and therefore you could rest. And have a great week. Be mindful of the moments that you can be present. I think I'm definitely naming this Break My Soul, because I feel like that's what last year and its hands tried to do. But just like Beyonce said, and don't allow these things to break your soul, right? Like, it's okay to let go of control, to surrender. Wow, I'm reading myself. It is okay to release what burdens you so that you can make space to live as joyfully. In my case, I am romanticizing and working on romanticizing my life. On TikTok, a dope-ass black woman was like, I am treating myself like I am the love of my life, because why I gotta wait for the love of my life to arrive? I mean, this is paraphrasing. When I can just treat myself as the love of my life. And so, what does that look like? We can't do that while things are intentionally working on breaking our souls. There's some things we can't leave, right? Like, she said release your job, but that is a billionaire that is at home creating art. You know what I'm saying? But we can still find pockets for living a replenishing, fulfilling, romantic life, and it doesn't include overspending, all that bullshit. It includes smelling the roses from time to time, leaving our house, going outside and touching grass, hugging a tree, playing with a pet or children if you have children, really existing in the now. I have discussed a lot of grief, and so the thing about Mamito Masa, my abuelita, my grandma, is that she said that she had no qualms about where she is because she's lived a full life. And so maybe I said this the last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. What a way to sit with a teaching for me. What does a full life look like? For me, a fulfilling life is just juicy. It's savory. It's something that lingers in joy and pleasure and laughter, and even in the sorrow, being able to be soft throughout all of it. I think, and I've had this as like my Twitter name thingy, softness is resilience. Softness is resilience, is where I'm at. And how do I support that? And so, we build vision boards and all of these different things about the goals, but have you included love? Have you included gentleness? Have you included acceptance and self-compassion? as part of those things. I hope you do. And if you haven't, add it in there. Like, I'm very always like goal oriented because it feels like what I can quote unquote control, which is a whole thing. But, you know, I had to add in there romantic aspirations, right? Like, let's visualize some things. Let's leave the house more often to meet people. Let's network with people in the worlds that I want to exist in. And so I can't do that isolating myself and overworking. I did that already. And so the work has been done already by our ancestors. That overwork, the endless, ongoing survival work has been done. How do we reshape our internal revolutions, right? Of rest and presence and art and joy and creativity. How do we live a life with just a little bit more of that? I don't think part of the dream was to keep being in a state of catching up, but as a state of being able to stop and sit in a moment and look around and enjoy your surroundings. I mean, I have to acknowledge, I do speak of a place of privilege, right? I have access to things that other people may not have access to, even if, you know, my situation is not where I want it to be. But it's including the what if. No one's saying to completely restart your life in another country if you wanted to. And maybe there's somebody out there that's probably like, I've been waiting for this one sign to just disappear and start over on the other side of the world, and do that. But we can add a little bit each day. I'm going to throw on these rose-colored glasses and not be delusional, because I did see someone on Twitter talking about the word y'all looking for is not delusion. It's literally manifesting, visualizing, existing in present moment, meditating, breathing through your day-to-day with hope. To be delusional is to not have hope that things will get better. I don't want to do that. I've had enough. And so, check out the show notes. Share the episode with a homie. Don't forget to rate. That's how people find me. And check out all the links, but also definitely share what you have going on, what you're proud of, what you're putting out to the world, or what you already put out into the world and needs a little bit more light. The algorithms are not the best, and therefore we can help each other out to the best of our ability. And so I'm always down for that. And do not forget that you are magic. Pas oublier où c'est magique. No te olvides que eres magia. And it's okay to conquer or unfurl. I think that's a better word. Allow the unfurling for one dream at a time. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the show. Check out our Patreon, the website in the show notes. Rate, review, and subscribe or share with the homie. And don't forget that you are magic. No te olvides que eres magia. Pa oublier ou c'est magique. Take care and see you next week.
Hey y'all, if you have not realized, I am using Anchor. I've been rocking with it for a while. It is now made by Spotify, and it's super cool because you can do it from your phone, from your computer, on their app or their website, and you can create ads to make money, subscriptions, etc., and it's free. And so if you've been waiting on getting your podcast on, Anchor might be the thing for you. You could get started today. Are you interested in unlimiting your healing journey? If so, please check out 𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐭𝐫.com, also in the show notes. If you want to begin your crystal collection, need a tarot reading for spiritual guidance, or a natal chart reading, the dates open up in next week, July 8th. So if you are interested in any of those things, we got decks, incense, sage, all of the things. Check out 𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐭𝐫.com and reconnect to your inner healing.